On July 18, 2024, users of WazirX, one of India's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, woke up to a nightmare. 250 million had vanished overnight. The culprit? A group of hackers operating from one of the world's most isolated countries, North Korea. What's even more shocking is that this wasn't even their biggest heist of the year. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how much money North Korea has stolen, how they execute these operations, and how significantly this contributes to Kim Jong Un's regime. In early January, the United States, Japan, and South Korea came together to release a joint statement aimed at raising awareness about the increase in cyber warfare from North Korea, particularly targeting the DeFi market. For those unfamiliar, DeFi stands for decentralized finance. The most popular forms of DeFi are cryptocurrency exchanges like Coinbase and Binance. According to the joint statement, North Korea stole at least $659 million through various heists. The biggest ones included DMM Bitcoin for $308 million, Upbit for $50 million, Rain Management for $16.13 million, WazirX for $235 million, and Radiant Capital for $50 million. However, recent analysis from Chain Analysis suggests the estimate is nearly double. It's estimated that 61% of all cryptocurrency stolen in 2024 was attributed to North Korea, giving them approximately $1.34 billion in revenue from 2024 alone. This figure doesn't even include money made from other cybercrime sources such as selling data and personally identifiable information. If these were included, the number could be substantially higher. But that was 2024. We're now halfway through 2025 and North Korea is off to an impressive start. Let's examine how much they've stolen so far. If you thought $1.34 billion was substantial for one small, isolated country to steal, prepare to be amazed. In February this year, North Korea executed the largest cryptocurrency heist ever committed, stealing $1.4 billion. They literally matched their entire 2024 global earnings in just the first 2 months of the year. To put this achievement into perspective, it beat previous records by more than double. Last year, they already set a new standard with their DMM hack. This represents a 5x improvement. I wouldn't be surprised to see North Korea reach $2 billion in revenue from crypto heists alone by the end of this year. By now, you might be wondering how long North Korea has been using cyber attacks to fund their economy. Let's explore that next. North Korea hasn't been doing this since the dawn of the internet. They only began generating significant revenue in 2016 following a hack on Bangladesh Bank. The attack consisted of 35 fraudulent transfer instructions issued by the hackers. If successful, it would have resulted in $1 billion being transferred. Fortunately, the bank was able to stop most transfers due to misspelled instructions, but North Korea still managed to extract around $101 million. Since then, their skills and heists have continuously improved, with successful attack after successful attack leading to billions in cash flow between 2016 and 2025. But revenue generation is just one aspect. North Korea has other motivations for building a cyber empire. They want power and control, not just money. On July 4th, 2009, they launched their first major attack using 2 malware programs to execute an unsophisticated DDoS attack against 36 websites from the US and South Korea. While the reason it was unclear, it was most likely intended to strike fear into citizens and governments while demonstrating the strength of North Korea's developing cyber army. In March 2011, 2013, they launched more sophisticated attacks against South Korea, specifically targeting South Korean media, finance, and other critical infrastructure. At the time, researchers didn't know North Korea was behind these attacks, but this was later confirmed. In November 2014, North Korea even targeted Sony Pictures, stealing unreleased films, scripts, future film plans, executive salaries, emails, and personally identifiable information for 4,000 employees, all because they disapproved of Kim Jong Un's portrayal in the movie The Interview. North Korea is absolutely no joke when it comes to cybercrime. They represent a serious threat, and major companies, especially those in the DeFi space, should ensure their security is as robust as possible. But here's another question. How does an isolated country where citizens cannot even leave develop such advanced training to become some of the world's most skilled cyber criminals? Throughout this entire video, I've been saying North Korea has been carrying out these attacks. And to a certain extent, that's true. However, the attacks are actually executed by a hacking group called the Lazarus Group, a North Korean-backed organization. As we know, the majority of North Korean citizens live in poverty and oppression. You don't get to operate independently in North Korea, especially on the internet. Therefore, both the Lazarus Group and North Korea can be used interchangeably when discussing these operations. From now on, I'll refer to the North Korean cyber army as the Lazarus Group. The Lazarus Group is believed to operate in 2 main divisions, Blue Noroff and Ariel. Blue North, also known as APT-38, is a financially motivated group. According to a 2020 US Army report, Blue North has approximately 1,700 members. They typically use long-term assessments and network vulnerabilities to gain system control. They target financial institutions and crypto exchanges, with their proceeds believed to fund missile and nuclear technology development. They've developed incredibly sophisticated malware, with the most notorious being WannaCry, which was responsible for the ransomware attacks on Britain's National Health Service, Boeing, universities, and much more. Blue North typically employs attacks such as phishing, backdoors, drive-by compromise, watering-hole attacks, exploitation of insecure Apache Struts 2, strategic web compromise, and accessing Linux services. They may even collaborate with other criminal hackers. Unlike Blue North, Andariyo focuses more on stealth operations and targeting South Korea, including government, defense, and economic symbols. According to the same 2020 US Army report, they are believed to have around 1,600 members, whose mission is to conduct intelligence gathering, identify network vulnerabilities, and map potential attacks. They may also target other governments beyond South Korea. They heavily utilize social engineering alongside supply chain attacks, and are behind a popular malware such as GhostWrap, a Trojan that allows attackers to gain remote access to Windows systems. This is only impressive because of their isolation. Almost no one in North Korea has access to the global internet, so where does the education for these hackers come from? North Korean hackers are sent to Shenyang, China for specialized training, where they learn to deploy malware anywhere. Domestically, they will receive training from these three universities that I will not attempt to pronounce. Only the smartest students are selected for this training, where they undergo 6 years of intensive education. But surely we can prevent them from using this illegally stolen money, right? Unfortunately, they are also incredibly skilled at money laundering. This is their profession and their life. Their most common tactic involves casinos in Macau and Southeast Asia, using platforms that openly advertise how easy it is to launder money. Ultimately, it doesn't matter much, since most of their trading occurs with China and Russia, who won't ask too many questions about the money's origin. The intricacies of Lazarus are truly fascinating, and I could continue exploring their operations in much greater detail. But I think this provides enough context for now. So, what do we do now? We understand that Lazarus steals enormous amounts of money, how they receive education to execute these operations, who they target, and what malware and systems they use for successful attacks. But how important is this money to the North Korean economy? North Korea's economy is generally horrifying when examined closely. It's truly heartbreaking to see what's happening there. Let me show you exactly how severe this situation is. In 1970, GDP per capita was around $325 per person compared to South Korea's $260. I was surprised to discover that North Korea was actually performing relatively well compared to its southern neighbor at the time. But fast forward through the technology revolution, and we see North Korea sitting at $640 per person versus South Korea's $35,538 per person. This disparity is absolutely staggering. This means that the entire population of North Korea is considered to be nearly in extreme poverty. To put North Korea's stolen money into perspective, regarding their overall economy, it is estimated to contribute anywhere from 4 to 8% of their entire country's GDP. That's absolutely insane. To be honest, I'm not surprised this is what they've resorted to. They're an isolated country with very few trading partners. The entire population is on the brink of globally recognized extreme poverty. There aren't many other options available to them. The more I consider it, the more it resembles the Hunger Games. Unfortunately, there isn't much we can realistically do to stop them. Countries can issue international warrants for group members, but North Korea won't extradite them. They could implement additional sanctions beyond what already exists, but North Korea continues operating despite these measures, even at the cost of their citizens' well-being. There's simply no effective way to stop North Korea in this cyber war, as they are too isolated to be significantly affected. The best approach we have is improving our systems' security, particularly in the finance industry. I believe North Korea's increasing success won't stop anytime soon, especially with all the hype around AI-generated code, LLMs replacing engineers, and fewer people reviewing code before publishing it online. There are plenty of vulnerabilities for North Korea to exploit. They'll continue stealing substantial amounts of money and disrupting industries, with AI making it much easier for them. AI is incredibly effective at leveling the playing field. North Korea's isolation isn't as impactful as it once was, since education can now be accessed through LLMs. However, it's not all doom and gloom. I believe AI will eventually become better at providing security, and North Korea will struggle to fight against this advancement, potentially returning them to their current state of struggling to make ends meet. Honestly, the biggest takeaway from this video should be the tragic situation happening there. North Korea will continue being dangerous, but the suffering of their people is on another level entirely. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like this type of content, Give this video a like and subscribe to stay up to date with interesting tech news. Maybe you disagreed with my future predictions. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'd love to discuss them. Otherwise, that's all for today. See you guys next time.